Welcome to Queer Coded Country, where yeehaw meets Yes Queen.
A podcast about growing up in the South and realizing that it's pretty dang queer. I'm Tucker.
And I'm Hunter.
And you're giving like you're going somewhere, maybe to a Cowboy Carter concert?
Well, I am in preparation mode.
That's right.
And
this is look one.
This is just like getting my aura together for it. And I did get my nails done.
I know you
today.
got some claws.
Honestly, I'm insufferable with these things because I can't.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. I like literally couldn't put these boots on, couldn't get my hat out of the closet, can't wipe my ass, honestly. I like literally text Brian.
We're going to have to
like,
figure that out.
How the fuck am I supposed to wipe my ass with these claws?
Brian, get some gloves.
Yeah. But honestly, cunt.
Yeah, no, they're amazing. They're so good.
I can't type. I can't text. I can't do shit.
Yep.
But I look good.
Yeah.
They look good. I'm doing ASMR on my vape, playing it like a flute. Like, it's really, really setting the tone.
For
weekend.
Cowboy Carter. I mean, I always say dress well, test well. And if you feel good, you're going to do good. And we are trying to feel good at the Cowboy Carter concert. And we are in full prep mode.
Do you think I'm just going to breeze past dress well, test well?
Oh, it's one of the ways I live my life.
Wait.
No, it's a true philosophy that I bring to life.
Oh.
And I started doing it in college because I would go to take tests and I would dress up for the test because I knew if I felt good in what I was wearing that I would feel good and that I would perform good.
You are that person.
Yeah.
And you know what else it's giving?
What?
Cost per compliment.
Oh, honey. That's the other philosophy that I abide by. If you don't yet know, I think I heard it from somewhere, so sorry I can't copyright whoever did this. But instead of cost per wear, we need to be calculating cost per compliment of your outfit because that's going to get you much further than realizing that you've got 75 cents per wear.
Yeah, and honestly, it makes overspending feel better.
Right, exactly.
Dress well, test well.
Dress well, test well.
Well, honey, how am I testing?
You're testing amazing. That's what I'm saying. You're really like setting the tone and the vibe.
You can't see because you're listening to this maybe on Spotify, but I'm clacking my cheek with my nails.
I wish you just had a cheek of steel.
Can you hear this on the glasses?
There you
Producer
go.
Sammy, can you hear my ASMR?
We got a nod.
Oh, all right. What else has been going? Oh, wait.
What?
You have an update because I know you have an update because I stalked you.
I know. Yeah. So we lost our game, the kickball game this week, unfortunately. But I was playing ball. We were having such a good time. And who do I see out of the corner of my eye? Bloop, bloop, bloop. Hunter and Brian with a fucking camera taking picture. I was like, what on earth is going on? Paparazzi. I mean, I felt it and I felt great. Unfortunately, we didn't perform for you. I'm so sorry.
I know. But honestly, you looked cunt.
Yeah.
Your team was giving energy.
Oh, energy. We were very much energy.
The beats were playing.
Yes.
I had snacks.
Yeah.
And that was nice.
You were entertained,
honey,
I would assume.
I know. Yeah. I famously stalk all my friends' locations.
Yeah.
And Mondays are hard.
Yeah.
Mondays are hard.
Very hard.
And Brian and I were like, let's go. It was nice. Let's go out for dinner. And I was like, I think it's kickball night. I wonder if Tucker's at kickball.
Yep.
And then stalked you right over there.
Sure enough. I know. I was really like, what I saw at first was your shiny phone case. And I was like, what is that shining over there? What's distracting me?
Who is that girl I see staring? It was me.
It was you. And it was perfect. And I'm so sorry we didn't pull out a W for you.
That's okay. I mean, I didn't even stay to see the end.
That's okay. That's good. You're right. But it was a gorgeous day.
Gorgeous
day.
Gorgeous.
Brian sent me a photo that he got of me on second. So I was feeling that.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, he was trying to take photos of me too.
Yeah, I saw that going on while I was in the outfield.
So stoned. I was so stoned. I forgot even where I was.
Yeah.
And at one point I heard you going up to bat while I was supposed to be casually like posing over this fence, and the photo.
My baby's going.
Honey, kid.
Okay, well.
Lay off the high ones, kid.
Okay, so to bring it back to what we talked about last week, someone kicked the ball, like ran up to kick the ball and straight up missed the ball. I said, good cut. Good cut. So I applied the lessons that we learned from last week's fandom episode.
God, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, also speaking of sports.
Yes.
Related to Overcompensating.
Okay.
And a show that we are obsessed with.
Oh my gosh. So Overcompensating created by Benny Drama 7, Benito Skinner, is taking the world by storm, especially our lives.
Yes.
And it's what we have really been talking about the last day around like how we've overcompensated.
For a whole day, we've been realizing things for a whole day.
And honey, we came to speak on it.
Honey, I couldn't sleep last night. I watched the whole season pretty much and was texting you. And now we're talking about it. We're speaking on it because we've spent a whole day of our lives obsessed with this. Overcompensating, if you will.
Honey. So the show follows Benny's character, Benny, as he joins college for the first time, makes friends, like gets introduced to like frat culture, like has his sister hanging around. And it's really about him knowing he's gay and trying so hard not to be outed.
Yes. There are so many things. One, it's just beautiful to see queer culture and things that we've talked about on the podcast come to life in a show that's so beautifully done, and it's so of our era. Like,
oh my God.
The music, everything. I mean, if you have not watched it and you don't want spoilers, skip over for, I don't know, however many minutes we've been talking about it for a day, so I don't know how long we'll be here.
Buckle up.
The way in which I felt so seen by so many parts from the beginning.
Oh my God.
When George of the fucking Jungle is playing.
Yes.
I was obsessed with that movie.
Oh my God.
And so the fact that it started with that, and let's talk about Brendan Fraser.
I mean, hot,
honey,
hot,
we won't talk about Whale, but we'll talk about George of the Jungle.
There we go. There we go.
That really set it off for me. Yeah. And when it's just in this scene, he's very young and they're watching TV at a sleepover and watching this back and forth. And he's like, I don't want to watch this stupid movie anyway. And when the channel turns and it's fucking Britney Spears Lucky.
I mean, it is. I mean, it sets the perfect like precedent for like what's to follow in the show. And it is, I mean, I relate to that so much. Like I remember going to like sleepovers growing up and where I would have to pretend to be into whatever we're watching and really just wanting to have Britney Spears music videos playing.
Oh my God. Well, good for you for being able to go to sleepovers. I couldn't. Yeah. I was scared.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. But no, it's just so good. And it's really, really, it's a special show. And like the music and the story, like all of it, I just felt, I don't know. I just felt so seen. And it's like, oh, this is what it's like for other people that like get to grow up watching things that feel similar to their lives 100%. All the time. And we don't get that as queer people.
No. Well, it's like there are very few like limited like queer stories that are like seen. And they are sometimes either like really in like the super early formative years of what that experience is and the family drama that comes with it, or a super traumatic storyline. And not to say that there aren't happy queer storylines out there, but for this one to be on my screen and to relate to it so hard, to what you said, I've never watched a show or a movie where I felt so seen in a character. Like this is like a true, like almost like blueprint of what my gay coming out experience was once I hit college.
Oh my God. And also, speaking of you feeling seen, one of the parts where I thought of you was when they're in the woods and he's like poison ivy. But then when the guy comes in and has a rash all over, he's like, well, that's poison oak. I'm like, that is so Tucker coded to know the difference of poison ivy and poison oak and how they appear on your body. Honey, on the farm,
we know what's going on.
You knew, honey.
We're looking out.
We're looking out. But there were also, so like what we're going to talk about is like all of these moments.
Yeah.
Many of which we've addressed on here where like we have been overcompensating and like all of the different phases of our lives where we do overcompensate or we're trying to hide something or be something different. And honestly, I think another thing about the show that's very beautiful is we're speaking from a queer experience. The show is centered around a queer experience, but you also get to see storylines of straight men and how they're overcompensating. And really, I don't care about many straight men, but Adam DeMarco is one that I do care about.
He's so cute.
The way that he has such big dick energy in this show but also in The White Lotus, playing
Yep.
a totally different character.
Yeah.
Same amount of big dick energy. I need to take a break.
I mean, so there's a scene where he is like hosting this pregame, and I also have never felt more seen when he's hosting the party. He's like waiting for people to come over, and they knock. He's like, okay. And then I look behind him, and he's got like bowls of popcorn and like pretzels and everything. I'm like, that's me at the damn high school party with the cheese board. I'm like, I'm overcompensating. Be like, okay, I'm hosting. I like it has to be right. Like if I'm gonna have people over, I am overcompensating so hard by having the snacks and everything organized that it's like, what's going on here?
Well, I also, there were so many scenes where, again, I was like, wait, this is kind of my college experience.
100%.
Her, Grace, being the liaison, the like student liaison. Bitch, you know that I was the student liaison for John Legend when he was on campus.
You met John Legend?
Bitch, twice.
Oh my God, what?
So I literally was watching this. Yes. So John Legend was part of our like student speaker, which was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I can't believe you don't know
they
this.
landed some good ones.
Yeah.
Back in the
Autumn
day.
Lewis was in charge of that.
Well,
Baby Bottom. Shout out to Baby
you.
Bottom. The funny part, I'm surprised you don't know that I met John Legend because that's one of my fat pictures that I showed.
Maybe it's recessed. Maybe it's recessed in my memory.
Like literally, it is an example of me at my fattest.
Yeah.
And so it's a really fun trick.
It's a good before and after.
It's a very good before and after, and John Legend's in it. But but you know, in Northwest Arkansas, the airport is like in the middle of fucking nowhere. And so when these student speakers would come in, they send someone from student government to pick them up at the airport.
Right.
So I was so excited to go pick John Legend up. But really all I did was just like greet him.
I was going to say, you weren't driving him in the Altima.
Honey, what if I was? Yeah. Oh my God. No, literally it was a 5-second interaction.
Yeah.
It was like, welcome.
Yeah.
And then like he got in his car, but I met him after. But like, again, like overcompensating, was so excited to be
truly
telling everyone that I was meeting John Legend.
Yeah.
And now I have a fat picture to prove it.
I mean, honey, we got to post the before and after.
Oh,
that's going up on Instagram.
Baby.
Tune in tight.
Yes. But other things too, that this is what was so crazy. And again, we've talked about this on the podcast, is like, we're speaking about queer coded country. We're speaking about our experiences in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we know is that there are queer coded country experiences everywhere. And there were just so many nods. Like even when he was talking about being drug tested, and like, well, they drug tested athletes.
Yeah.
And like, just little things that I remember. And I'm like, God, that was like small town high school. Like it just really was. And the show, I mean, Benny went to Georgetown, which also feels familiar because talk about overcompensating. I did this internship program through Georgetown where I really just wanted to go live in DC and like intern and whatever.
Be in the city.
I was also using a fake ID to get into Rock Bar, which is actually, I think, nod to Tombs, the bar. But I was Taylor Douglas. But I had a real ID. So
thank God
I
for
got
him.
in. But yeah, I was like on campus at Georgetown surrounded by all of these really smart people. And I was just there to like get fucked up and like have fun. And I was like, I think I got a C in the class.
They need somebody. Somebody has to.
I was the personality hire for
bitch. Of course. I know. One of the things I loved too about it was seeing how he interacting with gay people for the first time, and people that he knew were gay, and how he was like almost like super intimidated by them, and like didn't want to speak with them. Yeah, scared of them.
That was you to me before I said, "Bitch, I know you're gay."
Get off the note cards. Literally, it was like any gay person, like anybody that I thought might be gay or queer. Like I avoided them like the plague because I was so afraid of like by association. That was going to come back on me. And that's not a reflection on anybody else, but it was one of those moments where I was realizing things, and I was realizing I'm like, oh, okay, like some of this fear is my own internal fear of myself or whatever it is.
100%. And I totally related to that as well, because I also think that the show and the acting captures a beautiful moment when you meet someone that speaks the same language as you. Even when Benny and Carmen are like, I've never met a guy who likes Lord.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
Or like even just the little like banter between him and Miles where you see this character for the very first time find people that are similar.
Yes.
And find people that enjoy the same things. And even if they're not talking about it, you feel it and you know. And like that was Taylor for me. Like Taylor and I have been friends since we were 15 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting him. We played tentist. We played tentist against each other. We played tennis against each other. And honestly, it was like we were friends for years before we ever came out to each other. And we would just drive around Jonesboro, Arkansas in his big ass Denali truck.
Yeah.
Talk about overcompensating. Sorry, Tay. Literally driving around in his big ass Denali truck, listening to musicals for hours, right? But it was like that person, those people that you meet for the very first time that feel like home. You don't have to overcompensate. We could be in the big Denali truck, but listening to fucking For Good
100%.
Or Totally Fucked from Spring Awakening.
Yes.
Like, honey, the way we were vibing in the Denali.
Yes, 100%. It reminds me of Alexis was that for me in high school for sure. I would lock her in my truck and play musicals. But anyway, it then
Cats.
like connect. Oh, I think it was Rent.
Oh, wow.
But it reminded me a lot of a birth of a title holder. Like, because like Carmen to Benny is his like title holder. And it just reminded me of, to your point, of like meeting the people for the first time that like you feel seen by them and it forges some like extremely special bond. And it's like super quick because you just relate on the same level.
Yes.
And it is so special. And I love seeing that. And I think something about the show that I love too is that it is a good reminder to know that like you are not alone in these experiences.
Yes.
Like they are very similar across queer people. And while it feels like you're on an island or you're alone, to see something on your screen that is like, oh my God, someone gets this exactly, when a lot of people never will.
I know. And just, I think so much about our friendship.
Yeah.
And like when I was watching the show, it just made me realize just how special this is for us.
100%.
Thinking about Anna and Lisa and Kaylin and Lee and Catherine and like all of these people that even before, while we were still overcompensating. While we were still overcompensating in front of them, while we were doing all of these things, it was like that was home, that was safety. And it goes through an evolution, right? Like you don't just immediately put your guard down. You don't just immediately figure all of this out. You don't just flip a switch.
No.
And I think that that's one of the things that I realized as I was reflecting and realizing things is that I've been overcompensating in different parts of my life. And the root of a lot of my overcompensation is being gay. It starts when you're in the closet. Like that is a core part of it. But how all of that has changed and how there are still different areas of my life where it just comes out differently. And I just feel so excited about the fact that this is having such success. And
I know.
I'm overcompensating. I'm overcompensating right now because I couldn't remember what I wanted to say next.
Well,
and then I got distracted thinking about my nails and the sweat that's dripping down my back because I'm always fucking sweating. Overcompensating and over sweating.
Bitch.
Always.
And we take it all.
Yeah.
But you're so right. Like, to what you're saying, like we had that moment for ourselves and we are so lucky to like still have that and cherish it and know how special it is.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool to see that.
Do you want to touch my hand?
Yeah, let's
Wait,
touch.
do you want to Ariana Grande my nail?
Oh, yeah.
The one with the pistol on it?
Yeah.
I do support gun control laws, but not on my nail.
I mean, honey, anywhere else, but not on my nail.
Okay, so we were talking about funny stories or different times that we were overcompensating and different parts of our lives. So what's top of mind first when it when you think about overcompensating?
Well, I was telling you about like how the parties really felt like a moment for me to be able to like really have something else shine, and I was overcompensating so hard for that. But I also, even down to like the way I walked, I was overcompensating, which is like Twisted Sacrum origin story.
Oh, honey.
Because literally, I remember somebody telling me, "You got to swish when you walk." and
Swish,
I
swish,
took it.
bitch.
I mean, if only Katie had been at that time. But I.
Happy birthday, Liza, and R.I.P. Katy Perry. She's not dead. If you're listening and you haven't catch up.
But like I remember somebody telling me that, and immediately I was like started to change how I walked, and like I would like try to like walk with a limp sometimes, or like
with a limp.
Not with a limp. Okay, cut that.
No. Producer Sammy, we're leaving it in. No, you shut the fuck up. We're leaving that in
because
tell me about
I guess
the
what
limp.
I'm saying. I guess
now you're walking with a limp for different reasons,
well, honey. But no, literally because I was like, okay, if I can't control how my body moves, I have to like control it some other way. So I would like stiff leg one. I think they used to call that a pimp walk. And I like tried to do that for a little bit, and then it really did, like I was like, okay, I'm hurting myself. Like this is hurting. Yeah, so that's why my left side overcompensates from my right side.
And I was giving you shit and making fun of you, and we will be leaving that in, but it is insane that like that is what we put ourselves through.
Yeah.
It's no different than the carrying of the books, whatever. I mean, when I think about college and how I was overcompensating, definitely how I dressed.
Oh my God.
The fucking frat uniform, even when I wasn't in frat, when Adam DeMarco's character puts on the blazer and the American flag chubbies, bitch, you know I had those chubbies. Oh, chubbies gave me the right to wear short shorts and not be made fun of.
100%. And
shout out to Chubbies. Probably a terrible brand.
I'm about to shout out to Sperry's because the boat shoes are present on the show.
Well, did you shit your boat shoes or not?
You did. I was about to if I was going into the Flesh and Gold Society. That's what that felt like. The like intensity that they had.
Oh yeah.
It felt, and the guy in the show had a gun, and that was a joke. But like, it could have felt like somebody had a gun going off,
and not on their nail.
No,
in real life.
Yeah. That was pre you believing in gun control.
No, I've been a believer in gun control from a very early age as a school shooting survivor.
Of course.
It's actually funny that you bring that up. And now the school shooting has almost come up twice because I was going to talk about it earlier. It's on my list.
Oh, okay. It's on the list.
It's on my overcompensating list.
Okay. I'm interested to see how this comes out.
Well, first I was going to reference, I couldn't sleep over at people's house because I was scared.
Yeah.
Because I am a school shooting survivor. But also I overcompensate with bits.
Yeah.
Like humor. Self-deprecating humor and like overly dramatic or aggressive humor is one of the ways that I overcompensate. And I love to drop being a school shooting survivor as a party trick. And also, some of you may be listening and be very disturbed by this. I've been in a lot of therapy. I can say I can talk about it like this.
You've processed.
But it's like funny that now came up again because of the fucking gun and my nail.
I mean,
so I know what I was
theme of
say.
the episode.
Yeah, I have always supported gun control.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
But another like part of the show is the music.
Yeah.
And the way that the music slaps for our college years.
Oh my God. Great music supervision.
And one of the stories that came to mind for me that's definitely an overcompensating story is when Kaylin, Emily, my friend Emily, and I went to Vanderbilt for this like Rites of Spring or something like music festival that they do.
Okay.
Because we had, is that right?
Rites of Spring sounds very like pagan.
Yeah. Facts, not feelings. Feelings, not facts. Not facts based. Anyway, we had hosted this SEC conference and like the people that were the Vanderbilt representatives invited us. So we went. One, I was just overcompensating in general because Vandy, these people were very wealthy. Like I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But with humor. And so Emily and I went into the porta potties at this music festival, which it was whoever sings Black and Yellow. That's who was
Wiz Khalifa?
Yes.
Okay.
Wiz Khalifa. That's who was playing. And
Okay.
Black and Yellow is
In
one of
the
the songs
show.
in the show. And we went into the porta potty together, and I pretended like we were having sex
Uh-huh.
and was like shaking the porta potty
my
like side to
God.
side. And it went around Vandy the next day. Like 2 people were having sex in the porta potty.
Juicy Campus.
It was me.
I mean, that's so relatable, though. That's like exactly what he does. He has to like say that he did something in order for people to think that he's had sex with someone.
Yes,
like
you have to be over dramatic.
Yeah.
You're buying into these stories.
Yes.
You're playing it up. I mean, that's one of the things too, talking about overcompensating in college, just like the way that I behaved around straight men or like my friends' boyfriends or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, these big dramatic stories, which I do love a story.
I mean, yeah.
I do often do
I mean,
things-
hello, we've got microphones.
Well, I can ASMR them.
When I was in college, I classic like freshman year story of me overcompensating. I was out with the girlies and I get a call from my roommate. He's like, hey, like, we've had a couple beers. Like, we really want to go to the strip club. Like, could you drive us? And so
Not you being
but he was like,
DG
yeah,
to the strip club.
I know, literally. And so I go and pick him up and I'm driving. I'm like, okay, well, we're all going. So we go into the strip club and immediately it's like, you can't get past this bouncer. And the bouncer is a grandma in a muumuu with curlers in her hair. And I'm not even
Shut
joking.
up.
I'm not
this
even
is in Fayetteville?
It was, yeah,
On
it was.
college?
Off
By
Greg.
La
Off
Huerta?
Greg.
Oh, off Greg.
Off Greg.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then, so we go and we're watching the strip show and we're like sitting up
Strip
front,
show.
like, right. I mean, honey, that's what it is. A presentation in my head. And
Performance.
and- no, literally.
Art. It is art.
Yeah.
It is art.
100%. And so this stripper, like, they're like dancing and doing all that. And then like all the girls came out and were like offering people lap dances. And I was just like sitting there being like, oh yeah, man, like this is awesome.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure. I'll take
because I had
one.
my straight voice on, you know. Of course, I
Yeah.
look like a mummy. I'm sure I was sitting like I'm sure I look like a corpse sitting in that chair.
Scared to fucking death.
No, scared to death.
Not of the performers.
No.
Of the men that you were
well,
there with.
around, and I'm sitting around, and one of the guys like pays for a lap dance for me with one of the women,
Oh.
and so but it's in front of everybody, and she's just going to town, and I'm like, and they're like, come on, man, you know, like. Handing me ones, and I'm like pulling
You didn't know what to do.
her bikini off. I was like, oh, it was
I
so
ain't never seen nothing like this.
no,
They don't
true.
have this in DeWitt.
truly. And I was like literally just so stiff in my chair, and my God, I'll never forget it. I also thought I had a contact high from being in the same vehicle as someone smoking weed, so I was like, oh my God, I'm high, I'm at a strip club.
Oh my God. That is so funny. I also am thinking about overcompensating similar situations. I was in high school and I had a friend that was a like freshman in college at UCA, and I went to stay with her one
Mhm.
weekend, and we went to a frat house, and I was like still in high school. I probably wearing a Hollister shirt.
Oh, of course.
Never been more afraid in my
The
life.
peak of fashion.
The way that we are thinking about it more than anyone else. And so then
That's what it is.
That's the whole thing, is that like no one gives a fuck of
Yeah.
the luck, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
of
worried about
course,
themselves.
Yes, everyone is overcompensating.
Yes.
Everyone is insecure. Everyone is just worried about themselves.
Exactly.
So here we are destroying our own lives in these places.
Self-sabotaging.
When really, at that time, I was obviously gay,
Yeah.
but like
Same.
I didn't have these fucking stiletto pointed nails. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like I was walking in there with a sign that said, "Hey, I'm a faggot, fuck me," and like
Right.
like bully me, which honestly, I would get bullied at a frat house now.
Oh, I got bullied at a frat house like when I went and was in college.
Consensually. Like I would like to
Oh,
set that.
okay.
You're
That's-
like,
that-
duh.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
like,
obviously,
hello.
I was bullied then. I'm
Right.
saying now I would do it for the joy.
Oh, I see.
Like
You're
being
getting some pleasure out of
yeah,
this.
like I would like to put
Without-
the game down, flip it, and reverse it.
Yes, without having to overcompensate.
Yeah, the only thing that's overcompensating, honey, will be this bussy.
I mean, honey, that's good. I think
Line
that's
'em
probably a
up,
good thing.
Spank me.
So you're talking about like being out. Like, what were some of the things that you were overcompensating for? What that was like once you were out?
Oh, well, that's what's so interesting is it's like the first phase of overcompensation was like no one will know
Yeah.
I'm gay.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Written all over my face.
Yeah. Same.
And then you come out and you're like, okay, how do I be gay?
Yeah.
How do I do this? Like, okay, so I got past that, right?
Yep.
Now I'm gay. Now I'm out. And now I'm overcompensating, figuring out how to be gay and thinking that there's only one way to be gay.
Right.
And the thing that pops into my mind the most, and Taylor and I talk about this a lot, is we during college would come to New York like once or twice a year and see like 92 Broadway shows in like 1 week.
Yeah.
And go shopping at H&M and Urban Outfitters.
Yes.
And as
getting access to these like stores that it's hard to access in Arkansas.
And the way that I was dressing myself, I look back at some of these photos and I was like, that's overcompensating. Because I was like, well, this is how gay people dress. 100%. So this must be what I have to do and what I have to wear.
Yep.
And so I went through that phase of overcompensation. And now I'm on the other side of it where it's like in similar spaces where I would be afraid to be gay or, whatever. Now I'm like, I'm putting my whole ass dick on this table and I'm going to be the gayest version of myself that you've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
I'm going to look cunt at the Thanksgiving dinner table when I'm fighting with my racist family. Yeah. I'm going to look fucking cunt at the baseball game where people you're going to look at me now and you're going to feel just as uncomfortable as I once felt being around you.
Yeah.
And honey, that's overcompensating. Let me tell you, I could just go looking butch in my butch era because I love to be butch. But I'm like, no, I'm wearing a ass out little skirt to this.
Well, it's like we've talked about in a previous episode about even like the idea of like overcompensating is like trying on different skins and like seeing what sticks. And you can see like Benny doing that through the show. Like that's definitely how we did in like college, coming out in college and like now figuring out like who we are as 30-year-olds. But when I came out, like I realized I don't have a specific story about it, but I just remember how hard I was even doing more overcompensation after I came out to prove a point to people whose theory was like, oh, now that you're out, this is going to be your only personality trait.
Oh my God. Wait, whoa. Let's speak on that for a second.
No, literally. And like a lot of people's like arguments against like queer people and gay people is like, why is it in my face? Like, why is it the only thing they can talk about? Like all of that. It's like, it's because we have such a strong experience around and it has shaped who we are. And to now like years later, like release a lot of that overcompensation and to like feel and look and be the way you are. But at that time, as like a 20-year-old when I had just come out, like still holding on to a lot of parts of the things that were of my like pre coming out life, where I was like still trying to impress frat boys, still trying to impress people from like small towns, like still dressing a certain way to be like, oh yeah, like I'm gay, but like I don't, none of the other things about being gay are attached to me just to make them feel comfortable, even though I'm like, Kristen Chenoweth needs to host the Oscars. Like that was my campaign.
Broadway Row, right?
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, I get so furious about that kind of like mental gymnastics and abuse that queer people go through or that we went through, is because it was hard enough to get to the point where we came out to these people and then to be told like, okay, well, like keep it quiet or don't make it your whole personality or whatever. Like, bitch, it is my whole personality because it's who I am. Yeah. It's like, that part of it is like, fuck all the way off.
Right.
And I have to say, I saw today on Instagram, a friend of mine, her daughter is like doing musical theater. And like my response to this was like, yes, sister, go off. But also they're very young and it's like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. And like they're singing about like, when I find a man, we'll have kisses and we'll do whatever and we'll hold hand in hand. I'm like, bitch, that's indoctrinating children.
Yeah, 100%.
Like talk about it being your whole personality. Right. Like we were literally brainwashed for fucking ever to believe that this is happiness and this is normal and this is whatever. It's like, oh, The sweat is sweating
Well, no,
again
that's the
because
whole-
it's just so infuriating.
That's the whole story of overcompensating and being like, oh, I have to conform to all of the things that I am being told that like are what are the most valuable things, like getting into this society, like having sex with a girl on the first night of college, like all of that. That's exactly what that is trying to do the things that people are telling us to do, even though we know it's not right for us.
Yes, and I think about this a lot because I just want to know what a world is like when people's opinions are not informed by how they grew up or what they were forced to do. And, you know, I've thought about this a lot, especially as it pertains to like barrel racing, rodeo, the queer elements of country that we've talked about. You felt this on the farm too, right? There was this period where it was like, okay, I don't feel like I can have this because I'm gay or because I'm queer. There's no space for that, right? And so I convinced myself for a really long time that I didn't like it. And that it was forced on me and I just did it because it was in my family. And now in this phase of my life, I'm like, no, fuck no. I did love that, right? And you know, luckily, my parents did give me the space to quit football and baseball and like not do those things. But I don't know. I just see so many like small town kids being raised under the eye of their parents. And it's like, God damn, just let people be. Just let people live. Like that is what causes people to have to overcompensate, is that you put into their mind that this is how you are successful, or this is how you have to behave, or these are the things that you have to do. This is how you have to hold your books. This is how you have to walk. This is how you have to talk. You can't say this. You can't say that. It's like, God damn.
Overcompensating is managing your inauthenticity.
Word.
It is 100%. Yeah, truly.
No, but it is.
And
oh my God, that just struck me to my core.
I mean, isn't that like exactly what it is?
You are always so smart. It
honey,
really
the EQ is off the charts, but
really
thank you.
blows me away.
Thank you.
I'm blown away by you.
Thanks, babe. Okay, one thing that you were talking about, like about hearing the narratives that you grow up with, like you need a man, or you need a relationship, like marriage is the only way. Like that was a narrative that I was still overcompensating for even after coming out. Like I've talked about it here. Like even when I moved from college and moved to Dallas and was like living on my own and was like so excited to like live out my own queer fantasy. Like I was wearing V-necks for the first time.
Oh, the V-neck. God, the Gap V-neck.
Oh,
had
honey.
me in a chokehold.
So, but like the narrative was like, you have to be in a relationship. So I was overcompensating so hard in the gay world because I was like, the next step for me is to have a boyfriend and to have this relationship to help not only validate my gay experience, but also still adhere to the narratives that I've been raised with. And I fucked up so many times on dating because I would like take it so seriously.
Yes, 100%. And I think that is everyone experiences that, right? But you know, I have realized too that how toxic some of the relationships that I was in were, but it's because of that. I was so indoctrinated to want a boyfriend and want all of these things that I was willing to let someone treat me like dog shit. And, you know, it's just really, really fucked up. And I think another part of that I have only recently, I say recently, it's probably been like 8 years. But like hating kids. Like I was like so in my head about the fact that like I really had no desire. I don't even really like to hold kids. I don't like to be around them. I find them to be a huge inconvenience. I hate when they cry. They are so needy. They take the attention off of me. I literally, you know, like let's speak on that. But, you know, and it was like, I felt this way about it. Like I didn't feel like I was allowed to say it. I didn't feel like, you know, and listen, Ceci has my heart.
We love her.
Little Adler has my heart.
Yep.
So I do have the capacity, but I don't want to do that. I don't want, you know, it was like me, even when, you know, being around my nephew or my cousins or whatever, it was like, that's another form of overcompensating, is like pretending to fucking care, pretending that I want to be, you know, in this, or want all of these traditional things that actually I don't.
Right. Well, and what you're saying too is like, obviously, like, there is so much love and like healing and like greatness that comes from like having deep relationships, whether they're romantic or whatever. But it's also realizing it's realizing there is not one type of relationship to have.
Yeah.
Like they're beautiful and they enrich our lives in so many ways. But all of these things that we're told that we have to do in order to be considered a valuable person of society and of the world and of our communities is to follow those narratives. And that's not the truth. And there are multiple ways to like live authentically.
And all that does is force people to be inauthentic, therefore manage their inauthenticity, therefore overcompensate in all of these ways, right? And I do think that that's something very beautiful about the queer experience that I feel like straight people get to maybe later sometimes after their first marriage and maybe a couple kids. Like, I mean, some of my high school friends are like really running through the husbands.
Yeah.
I actually, speaking of, I've been following a divorce.
Okay.
On
Divorce Watch.
On Craighead County Court Connect for a while.
Oh, bitch. You're in the documents.
Yeah. They didn't even make it 6 months.
I mean,
and now they're in like lawsuits with both of their exes. There's custody battles. I mean, really?
Sorry to them, but.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying the point is that I think that queer people get there a little faster, and I hope that everyone gets there, right? And I think Paige DeSorbo is having this moment right now where she's like, fuck all of that. Like, I am me. I am living. I don't need any of this.
That's a really good straight comparison.
Yes, right? And I see very queer themes in the realizations that she's having, right? And I hope everyone gets there. I hope people listening question whether they're there and how much of what maybe they're experiencing or how they feel about certain things is because of what they feel they're supposed to do versus what they really feel. As long as you're not gun control harming people, then like live, laugh, love out loud.
Absolutely. What I was thinking about though is I'll give a final overcompensating story to carry us home. This was pre-coming out and I was still trying to like be in the fraternity and like I knew an older guy in the fraternity. And so I was like really trying to like ham it up with him and, hey man, you know, I'd really appreciate it, like all that. And then we got drunk at a tailgate together. Oh. And he was
like where this is going.
Well, get ready. It's going to take a turn. And he was like, oh man, you know what we ought to do? We've been drinking all day. He goes, you know what we ought to do? We ought to go mountain biking. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, man. Yeah,
Tucker, no. Tucker, no.
I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like, I'd love to explore more of nature and what's out here in Arkansas. No. And so he's like, okay, cool. Like Monday, let's go. I'll rent bikes and we'll go do it. And I was like, oh yeah, man, for sure. And so I was like, so in it. And then I woke up the next day and I was like, fuck. I committed to going mountain biking. I was like, we were both drunk. Surely not. I get a text on Monday morning. Hey man, still good for mountain biking this afternoon?
Oh, and God.
So then I am like, fuck. Okay, but I'm like, I got to commit. And so.
Did you go? You went to like an actual outdoor place?
He picked me up and he had the bike and we had to go pick up the bikes. He strapped them up to the back of his Tahoe. We go to somewhere outside of
city limits. Outside the city limits, honey.
And we're mountain biking and it was hilarious because he was really going through all the trails like so fast. And the whole time I'm like, imagine me on a mountain bike trying to hide my gayness and try to be super straight and also super into it.
And you were hungover.
Oh, 100%. So the thing is, well, I actually don't think I was hungover because I think we took a day. I think we took a beat.
Oh, okay.
You know, now I get 2-day hangovers. Okay, yeah. Then
you were ready to go.
Exactly. But I remember finishing it up. I was like, oh yeah, man, like that was like incredible. Like we'll definitely have to do it again. He was like, oh yeah, for sure. Luckily he never contacted me again about about mountain biking. But at the same time though, it was really fun to do something so different. So in many ways, while I was overcompensating for like feeling like I had to fit in, I was also like, okay, trying on something new. And I was like, I like that adventurous part of myself. That's the me who loves being on a four-wheeler and mudding a little bit. Yeah. So, you know.
Mudding. Yeah. Add that to the list of topics. It's funny too. I think about you mountain biking. I think that's probably those types of things are one of the ways that queer people overcompensate the
Yeah.
most is like going fishing,
Yes.
going hunting. Like we grew up going to the lake and bitch, I was wakeboarding because I wasn't going to be the one that
Yes.
didn't wakeboard
Yes.
or whatever. Like, and now I just draw a hard line in the sand. Like,
Right.
even when people are like, let's go bowling, I'm like, I fucking hate bowling. I'm not even going to try to pretend to be into
Right.
this. Even like at football games, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love a tailgate. I go into the game because mom and dad want to. I'm not sitting there trying to pretend to care about the touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm watching the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
on my
yeah, baby.
phone. I'm like literally people watching. Like, I would at one point have been like, yeah, go fucking hogs.
Yeah.
But like, I say go hogs because everyone else is, but
Right.
I'm not trying to pretend anymore.
Right.
Don't give a fuck about
Yeah.
many things and draw a hard line in the sand.
Exactly.
And mountain biking, the only time I've ever gone mountain biking was with my racist, homophobic uncle before I knew how racist and homophobic he
Right.
was. And I fell off and hit a rock.
Oh my God.
Lost my breath.
Wow, honey.
Catching my breath.
Oh, see, I was going, can you keep up?
Oh, don't come for
Yeah.
that song.
Oh, yeah, well, I
you
didn't
know
mean-
that's a sacred song to me.
Of course, sorry for associating it with a bad memory.
Yeah, now I have to go gun control my nail.
Well, take it to your therapist. Well, hey,
Well, fucking hey.
what are your parting shots on overcompensating?
My parting shots are that Tucker said some very wise words, and one day I'm putting that on his tombstone that overcompensating is just managing your inauthenticity.
Yeah.
And my parting shot to anyone listening is to think about things that you are doing.
Yeah.
Going to football games, mountain biking, blah, 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 that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And consider what it might feel like to not give a fuck
Yeah.
about those things and say, I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay home and tickle my clit.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
do that instead.
Yeah.
Give that a try. And if you are going to overcompensate, make sure that it's in a way that is a fuck you
Yeah.
to people, that it's a powerful overcompensation.
Yeah.
Because I think that you can still overcompensate. I'm overcompensating constantly.
Uh-huh.
Right now, I'm overcompensating, but it's in a powerful way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not in a way that brings me down. And my final parting shot is watch Overcompensating on Amazon Prime. And shout out to Benito Skinner. Bento.
I mean, that's my parting shot is I have been such a fan of Benito for years. I love to call him Benny Drama 7 just by his Instagram handle. Because I've been watching his videos for years, and so I feel like I've watched his journey for so long, from him doing just like the videos to the podcasting thing to like writing this show and creating this show. And I'm just like, it is so cool to see someone become their authentic selves over that time.
Yeah.
And it is a very inspiring journey. And shout out to him for creating something so beautiful and everybody that brought it to life, because it is speaking to a lot of people's souls right now.
Our souls for a whole day.
That's right.
All
And
right.
from that, we're going to take it from Yeehaw to Yes Queen.
Yeehaw. Yes Queen, the part of the show where producer Sammy will show us things that we've talked about and we will rate them on a scale from Yeehaw to Yes Queen. First one is
Georgia the Jungle.
Yes Queen.
Yes Queen, 100%.
Yes fucking Queen. I'm
glad
horny.
you had a moment with that movie, because I definitely had a moment for that movie.
Oh, I want to watch it tonight.
Yeah, so good.
Yes Queen, Brendan Fraser.
Also, Leslie Mann is in it.
Oh,
Early Leslie Mann
yes.
vehicle, and loved her in that. I remember
God.
loving her.
So
Yes
love
Queen.
that. Yes Queen. Porta
Porta potty.
potty. Well, are you fucking in it or fake fucking?
If the potty is a rockin', don't come a knockin'.
If the porta potty's rocking, I think that they are both yeehaw No, they're just
Yeah,
yeehaw.
I think they're yeehaw.
The way that I have been in so many porta potties, because that is what was at the rodeos a lot of time. I can smell it right now.
You know where a famous porta potty location is for me? At Duck Gumbo.
Oh,
there's a whole
God.
vestibule of porta potties, and it is pretty yeehaw for that reason.
Yeah, but also, have you seen the upscale porta potties that are like
lifted and conditioned?
Yes. Bitch, where was that when I was in
They're
Bono?
expensive.
Honey, wasn't in the budget.
Strip clubs. Yes,
yeehaw,
queen.
And yes, queen.
Yeah.
Honey, it does not matter. We support
100%.
strip clubs. We support strippers. We support sex workers.
Yep.
That is talent. That is art. That is beauty.
I love it. I love watching a good striptease.
Love it.
Yes, but it's because of the artistry of it.
Yes, because it's fucking talent.
Yeah.
Oh my God. America's Got Talent.
The strippers got it.
Strippers got talent.
Ugh. Okay. Well,
to that we say,
y'all come back now, you queer.
Queer Coded Country is created and hosted by Hunter Poole and Tucker Travis. Produced and edited by Sammy Junio. Oh, I cut myself with my rifle.
Oh God.
Gun control now.
Yeah.